So this is the other thing, and actually, if you have seen that clip by James O'Brien, you would have got a little bit of this with James O'Brien. There's this juxtaposition going on, this dissonance in America at the moment, that at the moment Donald Trump can do whatever he wants. Donald Trump ran on locking up violent people, right? That's what he ran on. Donald Trump has just released a whole bunch of violent people. Now, people are like, oh, January 6th, some of them just kicked in doors. Some of them did. But some of them that have just been released were far, far, far more dangerous than that. Donald Trump ran on law and order. Donald Trump ran on being a friend of the police. January 6th rioters attacked the police. You can't have it both ways. This dissonance that's happening at the moment, at some stage will crash and burn, but today there's a honeymoon period for Trump and they're not seeing it. I'm going to put all the violent people in jail. First thing he does, releases a whole bunch of violent people. And if you're not entirely clear on what sort of people were released, here's a little 90 seconds from TVNZ where they talked about some of the actual people and the sentences they had for violent crime that have just been released.
Full presidential pardon, that's what we got. Nobody gets those.
Most of us went there thinking it would be a regular day, a regular protest where you chant and you go home.
More than 1,500 people charged after storming the US Capitol have been pardoned or had their sentences commuted.
We're going to release our great hostages that didn't do, for the most part, they didn't do stuff wrong. You see, take a look at what went on.
This man became the face of the insurrection. His convictions now wiped.
I walked outside and I screamed freedom at the top of my lungs and then gave a good Native American war cry.
Some of those freed include leaders of far-right groups. Stuart Rhodes, founder of the Oath Keepers, now released from an 18-year sentence. And Enrique Tarrio, leader of the Proud Boys, who was serving 22 years, now a free man.
This is not the people down the road who got caught up in something and went inside a building where they weren't supposed to. This is people who planned and armed themselves to do things like, quote unquote, hang Mike Pence. These are the people that have been released as one of Donald Trump's first things he does as he's president, whilst he ran on locking up violent people.
Free man.
There is no other way to describe President Trump's pardon of January 6th offenders than un-American. It is so deeply un-American. President Trump didn't just pardon protesters. He pardoned individuals convicted of assaulting police officers.
One of the officers at the riots, Michael Fanone, was beaten and attacked with a stun gun.
And so what Donald Trump is saying is that, listen, if you commit acts of violence on my behalf, I'll give you a pass.
I am the friend of police more than any president that's ever been in this office.
The new leader of the free world wasting no time in freeing those linked to one of America's darkest days.
So what he's actually saying, and this is, well, I guess we kind of all knew this about Donald Trump. The truth is, it's a little bit like when you leave one word out of a sentence, how it can change things. He ran on locking up violent criminals. He ran on locking up brown violent criminals. That's the word that's been left out, because he's just let out a whole bunch of, I mean, look, let's be fair, 1,500 people. I'm not a huge fan of the penitentiary system in America, how they basically chuck you in jail, throw away the key, then figure it out. There's going to be some people amongst that 1,600 people that probably don't deserve to be there. I've got you. But there's some that should not be walking outside again, but they're out as well, Chewie.
Yep. I feel like I'm going to be doing this for the next 4 years. Let's play devil's advocate here. Say he wanted to send a message. He could have pardoned some of them. He could have pardoned the ones that they hadn't been able to secure convictions for yet. He could have pardoned the ones that were convicted for non-violent acts. No. All of them. All of them. It is 100% sending that signal flare up that his own little brown-shirted militia, the Proud Boys, can get away with whatever they want now.
Stand back and stand by. He said it last time. Stand back and stand by.
And every time something like that has happened, people have wanted to hand wave it away and explain it away. And, that's not what he meant. Just because this is very similar to something that Hitler said, that's probably just accidental. The fact that he's one of the books that he rates is Mein Kampf, that's just because it's an important book. All of this, at what point do these bricks falling into place complete the picture?